John, welcome back.
Hey, Jimmy, great to be back. Thank you for having me, everybody.
Yeah, John Oliver, everybody.
Pleasure to be here.
John.
Sorry. How you been?
What's new? What's new? Anything?
Well, you know, it's nice to be back. Works, family's good.
Yeah, good. I'm so happy.
Good, yeah.
What are you wearing?
Oh, that's right. I was told explicitly this evening was bird-themed.
No, that's not true.
No, that's not
Sorry
true.
about that, no.
No, we did on our show on Sunday, we entered the Australian, not Australian, New Zealand. I could not have made a more offensive mistake than that. Although, potato, am I right? New Zealand's Bird of the Year contest, which is this year's Bird of the Century. It's a fantastic contest. Everyone votes on their favourite bird, and their bird then becomes everyone's official favourite bird. And we loved it. Really charming contest. I looked to see if there was one like it in the US. There just isn't. And then the more we looked at it, we realised it's not actually restricted just to New Zealand, this contest. Anyone can campaign for a bird. That seemed like a vulnerability in their system that somebody could exploit. We were happy to be that somebody, and so we are now the official campaign manager for the Puteki Teki, which is what I am right now. It'd be great. That's right. Good.
What is it? What is it?
Well, seems like quite a lot of Puteki Teki fans out there.
Yeah, so Puteki Teki.
Puteki Teki. I mean, even the name is just a dance in your mouth, isn't it?
Yeah, Puteki Teki.
Let your tongue explore your face. Puteki Teki.
And why this bird? Why the Puteki Teki?
Good question. It's that we thought that it was a magnificent bird.
Yeah.
I believe, as we described it on Sunday, it looks like Paulie D. a swan. I don't think it's unfair to say that's what you're looking at right now.
No.
So it's a charming bird. Right. You could defend that insult in court.
Yes.
It's an interesting bird. There's only 1,000 of them in New Zealand. So I think it's a fine candidate for Bird of the Century.
Did you contact this organization running this contest before you started campaigning?
We did. Yeah, we didn't just spring up. We said to them, would it be okay if we were campaign managers for a bird? They said, yes, go for it. And I don't think they understood quite what they were unleashing when they said, go for it.
Because you put up ads now all over New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, we've gone absolutely nuclear on them. So, now, what I did not realise going into this was that the bird that won last year won with just over 2,800 votes.
2,800 votes?
Yeah. I think we might beat that due to the things that we do.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, we put up billboards in... Well, first we put up a billboard in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's a bus
this is
stop.
in Wellington. Yeah. Lord of the Wings, yeah?
Yeah.
So that was just the start.
Lord of the Wings is pretty good.
Lord of the Wings is, yeah, it's not bad. It's a good starting point.
Yeah, so
From square one, we then really went global. We put up billboards in, this is Mumbai, this is Tokyo, this is the Champs-Élysées in Paris, this is London, this is Ipanema Beach in Brazil, and this, of course, is Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
Yeah. You ended up in this little town in Wisconsin as well?
Not everyone lives in big cities.
That's true, you're right. That is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I love that you're doing this. You're like, oh, we're going to make this a thing, and this bird is... I think this bird's going to win. Everyone who has an email address...
If anyone can vote, you should vote. If you go to votethisbirds.com, pick the Puteki Teki as your choice, as your first choice. It will ask you to, you just need a valid email. If you then validate that email, you will be part of what I think is going to be a landslide victory. It is American money undermining a foreign election. What is more to be proud about? Right?
That is unbelievable. You know, there are over...
I'm now realising why you keep lunging backwards. And it's because I've got a beak.
You have a beak,
yeah. I hadn't...
You came in, we were going to hug, and you're not used to having a beak. No.
I nearly stabbed you with a beak.
Yes, I keep
What a
doing
way
that.
to go that would be.
This is the funniest. I never thought I'd see it. Like, this is great. But there's over 70 birds competing for Bird of the Century. I just want to get your take on a few of the other ones to see what you're up against.
I will say, I don't want to be too honest here, but before you've even shown me them, these birds.
All right, no, I understand. I understand.
But make your best case.
Okay,
Show
all
me
right, very
something
good.
which is better than the Puteki Teki, which you're seeing right in front of you.
Yes, okay. The Puteki Teki
What do you
is...
got? Give me another bird.
Well, how about this? How about an eastern rockhopper penguin?
I mean, that looks like a hip... There, exactly! You can feel they're not convinced. That's a...
No, I think they...
No, they're not. That's a hipster penguin. What are you bringing to the table here? What have you got that the Puteki Teki doesn't?
Due to their rocky environment, they cannot slide on their bellies like most penguins, so they hop around.
No, that is a charming little detail.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet that's all you've got. What else? What else, Jimmy? What other rockhopper facts have you got?
They're excellent.
Hold on. Let me just cover up what's written. Tell me something about this bird, Jimmy.
No, they weigh 5 to 10 pounds. All right. So this one's out, but they look kind of cool. But I'm going Puteki Teki.
Yeah, thank you.
How about this? How about the tomtit?
Oh, please. Please. That is a basic bee.
Bird?
That's more bee than bird. Pick a lane. Which do you want to be?
I mean, that's pretty cute. The tomtit.
What does it do, Jimmy? What does it do?
The tomtits are attracted to humans because they stir up soil and disturb insects for them to feed on.
Okay, so
It started off good.
let the people decide. Do you want this thing, again, bad bee costume, or do you want the Puteki Teki? That's what democracy's all about.
The last one I'll just show. This one is just. Oh, this is interesting. You could have went here. The royal spoonbill.
Oh. That's a pretty good bird.
It's a decent bird.
What are its feathers always like that, or is that like a special occasion? Is that after being glammed up?
She just came from the CMAs. Yeah, exactly. It has...
The CMAs is exactly the right one. Not the Met Gala.
No,
it's
not
the CMAs.
Not the Grammy Awards, nothing, not the American... The CMAs. Why? I don't know why. When they've caught something to eat, they lift up their bill, they let the morsel slide down their throat. I like that.
Yeah.
The bill has a vibration detector that can detect prey in murky water, allowing the bird to feed at nighttime.
I mean, we're all learning more about birds than we thought we were going to tonight.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Right? I would not be mad at losing to that bird.
Yeah.
I'll be totally honest. I didn't come into this expecting that, but that's a decent bird.
But you said you also like the Puteki Teki because of their mating ritual, their mating dance.
Yeah, they have an incredible mating dance. I believe there's a video of it. What I like about it the most is that they put... well, you'll see. Do you have a clip of this mating dance?
I want to show...
We talked about it.
This is John talking about the mating dance.
And you want elegance? Oh, I'll give you some elegance. They have a mating dance where they both grab a clump of wet grass and chest bump each other before standing around unsure of what to do next.
All right, convinced right there.
What's not to like about that? If you don't identify with that, you're not answering honest questions.
All right,
yourself.
good. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to say thanks again for doing Strike Force 5 with me over the summer.
You're welcome, Jimmy. I'm more than happy to talk about any other subject than birds while wearing this bird costume.
I want you to. I'm so excited. I just love it. You went for it. We did a bunch of episodes. I got to know you more than I ever thought I knew to get to know you, and your beautiful wife as well.
Yeah, it was super fun.
And we episode 5 went a little haywire.
I mean, it was a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece of a disaster, wasn't it?
Well, did your wife?
Well, my wife, when you started texting all of our wives late one night, and it was late. It was late to have your wife saying, Jimmy's texting me right now. But anyway,
I shouldn't have texted that late.
She said to me, I don't know what these questions mean. And I said, it can't be that confusing. And I read them and realised, oh, it was very much that confusing. What I didn't understand was you texted different versions of confusing questions to all the different partners. So you had layers upon layers of a debacle that was going to unfold. And she said, I don't think this is going to work. And I said, I think it is going to work, but not in the way that you think it's going to. And it did. It was the hardest I've laughed during the strike. The strike was a stressful time.
Yes.
And boy, you gave me some hard laughs for that.
It was because we were on these Zoom screens. I could see you, and I could tell if something made you laugh, your head would fall out of the screen.
I was laughing so hard, I wasn't making any sound, and I was in pain. The kind of thing where you think, is this what it feels like to rupture a spleen? 'Cause I think it's...
It was one of my favorite experiences of what a terrible time.
Yeah.
It turned it into something great.
Yeah.
Raised a lot of money for our staff and crew.
Yeah, it was the one piece of scoop of ice cream in the middle of a pile of...
I'm so happy you're here, and gosh, thank you, and best of luck to the Puteki Teki.
If you're wondering if this suit is hot to be in, the answer is yes.
John Oliver, everybody, last week tonight, airs Sundays on HBO and streams on Max. Matt Rife joins us after the break. Stick around, everybody.
Hey, hey.